Speaking of week one games.
What do we got?
Again, since we got Jeffrey Simmons was here on Tuesday talking about the Titans and the Bears, going to be a big game for him and how he can't wait to welcome Caleb Williams to the NFL in his moment. I came up with a top 5 list of the most underrated week one games. Now, that means we have to remove all the standalone games. They're all out of this mix.
Right. Those are marquee.
Thursday night football to kick it off in Kansas City. The Friday night game that we talked about with Lane Johnson yesterday. The Eagles, if you will, hosting Green Bay in Sao Paulo, Brazil. We're throwing out the Cowboys and Browns late window on Fox, throwing that out. And we're throwing out Rams-Lions on Sunday Night Football, Jets, San Francisco on the first Monday night of the season. And you know what else I'm going to throw out, too, is because I think it's been discussed as well. We've talked about it, Jim. But the Pittsburgh Steelers debuting Russell Wilson as their starting quarterback in Atlanta, debuting Kirk Cousins as theirs.
There's some video going around right now. Russ working out with DK Metcalf.
Didn't DK say they're tight? They still talk with one another?
Yeah.
Right?
Throwing some passes.
I guess that's one way to, if you can't work out with George Pickens, work out with DK.
Right.
So I got a top 5 list of the top 5 most underrated, under the radar week one games as we're sitting here on the final Wednesday of June. Hit it.
High five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Rich's top 5.
All right, everybody. I got my top 5 of the most under the radar games for week number 1 based on the fact that Jeffrey Simmons says he can't wait to go after Caleb Williams. Number 5 on this list is nobody's talking about this one. This team made the divisional round last year, and you want to talk about running it back? They're running it back. I guess that's the Cowboys' way of going all in, which is just stick with the guys that brung you there. And I'm talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and it is the debut of Jaden Daniels in the National Football League, and Dan Quinn is the new head coach for the Washington Commanders. Commanders at Bucks is an under-the-radar, sneaky good week one game, folks, that we're not talking about right now. I kind of dig it.
I mean, what if Washington hangs 30 on them and they win by
As
2
I've
scores?
told you, Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, Austin Eckler, Brian Robinson Jr., there's no slouches. And Jaden Daniels comes in and shows up like he could be, remember what last year's second overall pick in the draft did? No expectations that high, right?
I like the over.
That's number 5 in that one. Number 4, under the radar games in week number 1. I'm going with this team heading all the way across the country to Western New York. The new look Bills, if you will, are hosting the Arizona Cardinals, who played everybody tough last year. The debut of Marvin Harrison Jr. in the National Football League. And then the new look Bills offense without, if you will, a clear-cut number 1 wide receiver. With their 1 and 2 in Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis not being there anymore. And is it going to be the James Cook show? What's going to be Keon Coleman's role? How is Josh Allen going to look? Cardinals at Bills is an under-the-radar week number 1 game for everybody to chew on right there. Number 3, it was the way they finished up the season against one another. And let's see what Anthony Richardson looks like when he's coming back. And it's in the same spot where the Colts got eliminated by the Texans. In Indianapolis, Texans-Colts is number 3 on the under the radar. C.J. Stroud's first game as everyone expects him to play. How about that one? Last year it was, okay, when Cinderella maybe going to run out of gas and turn back into a pumpkin? And the answer was not. I don't think that happened. That said, how's Anthony Richardson going to look? Can the Texans put their stamp on things and say, doesn't matter who's playing quarterback here in Indianapolis, it's our division. We're going to put a stamp on it just to start in the same way that we stamped out the Colts season in this house last year to win the division. That's going to be a fun week 1 game. And then number 2 on this list, with all due respect to those 2 teams in the AFC South, I'm including an AFC South team in the second best under the radar week 1 game coming up. I'm going with the Jaguars at the Dolphins. Ooh. Not many people are talking about this one, but I kind of dig it. You know, I kind of dig the Jaguars going down to Miami.
The who, Rich?
The Jaguars going down to Miami. And we'll see. Does Tua get paid like Trevor? Trevor's been paid. What will Tua be paid like? And then we pay attention to what the Dolphins can do defensively with, I'm assuming, some of their best players still not healthy. Do the Jaguars go in there and just say last year's injury-marred season ender is not the way they're going to start this season with it being off kilter? I can't wait for that one. Because that'll also be one that I think is going to be a tie break that somebody could put on the table to host a playoff game rather than be on the road later on in the year.
Good one. Yep.
Number one, though, can't believe nobody's talking about him. But I will. Because Jim Harbaugh's back in the National Football League. And God bless the schedule makers for putting the Raiders in SoFi Stadium this started. Antonio Pierce's first game as the full-time HC of the LVR. And then Jim Harbaugh is the first game as the HC of the LAC. In Los Angeles, where Raiders fans will tell you they're the true home team, not the two home teams of SoFi.
Oh, yeah.
And this one, a division game, both coaches love to strap up the helmet for their players and go hit one another. And we will see Raiders at Chargers be an old school slobber knocker of a game. I can't wait. Max Crosby in the house and the new look Chargers for Harbaugh. That's the number one under the radar game for week number one. I'll give you one more.
Ooh. All right, we'll get one
Sure.
more.
I'll go with the one that Jeffrey Simmons said. I'll give you this one. I'll give you Titans at Bears. The Bears are going to be on Hard Knocks and will be discussed more than any non-playoff team from last year. They've got the number one overall draft choice. They've got the home fans in Soldier Field flipping out because they feel like they finally have got the right guy under center and in shotgun. And then there's number 98 and Jeffrey Simmons on the other side of the line of scrimmage saying painted nails or whatever else is coming out of his mouth. And this is also a new look Titans team without Derrick Henry and a new head coach. I do believe the Titans are being slept on at present. And that's my top 5 under the radar games for week 1 right here on the Rich Eisen Show. All right.
Love it.
Any ones we missed are, I'll throw you some other ones out there that I did not mention. Did not mention Pats Bengals. Did mention Panthers Saints. I was looking at Vikings Giants for a hot minute, but couldn't supplant any of the other games that I mentioned.
Sugar, yeah.
The other one that I wanted to mention, I almost did.
Seattle, Denver?
Yes, sir. Denver at Seattle. Is Bo Nix going to start that one? And if so, what a place to start it.
Yeah.
Seattle.
Did you see?
And by the way, where Russ got his first start as the Broncos quarterback, by the way.
Did you see Zach Wilson's slick back hair?
I did not.
Photo that went around yesterday?
Good for him. Yeah. Do whatever works. I wish I could do that.
Me too.
That sounded particularly. That sounded very wistful.
That was pretty sad.
A little sad.
Me too.
Oh, I've heard the words in my ear logging up real soon. Here it is. Look at that. What's going on here? Do you think?
Doesn't want to look 12 anymore.
I guess so.
Is it the altitude that?
That's what it does to your hair?
I wouldn't know about that type of hair. That's why I'm asking you guys. You know.
Yeah, it's good.
Dude, the last time I had this hair, I was like 9.
Maybe that's what the Cougars like in Denver.
Very possible.
And you mean the animal like the mountain lion cougar, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about species.
Yeah, I know.
Species.
What are you talking about?
Great movie.
Women over 40? What?
I don't know. I don't know what this look is. I don't know if it's just like divorced dad. Is he like Eberflus kind of?
I don't know.
Hey, I gotta shake things up. I'm buying a leather jacket.
No, he's just like, I'm out of New York anymore. I'm not going to look like I'm 12. I'm going to be. I'm a grown ass man. I'm vying for the job. Yeah, I like it. If I had it, I'd flaunt it, baby. I would do it. I can't. I'm out of moves. Be very straight up with you. I'm 55 years old and I'm out of moves. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern for free.